play well.
For the first time since the start of 2025, Nottingham Forest have won 3 matches in a row, beating Malmo 3-0 in the Europa League. Ryan Yates was among the scorers at the City Ground, netting his first ever European goal. Here's Forest boss Sean Dyche.
Super pleased with the number of the players, but particularly the defensive unit early in the game, then throughout really never gave them the sniff. And that gives you a base to build on, and then some really good performances within it. Callum coming out of injury and getting in the full game, and players looking sharp, and I like that.
Elsewhere, Aston Villa moved a step closer to automatic qualification with a comfortable victory against Young Boys. Daniel Marlin got a brace and a 2-1 win. Both of his goals came in a first half overshadowed by crowd trouble. Villa have won 4 of their opening 5 matches in the competition. Boss Unai Emery, though, says that they need to be more ruthless.
We were consistent, but one moment we were not being ruthless when we were winning 2-0, and we didn't really use our opportunities to score more goals or to get really chances to score, to get good result and get advantage.
And Crystal Palace's unbeaten run is over. They lost to Strasbourg in the Conference League. Elsewhere, Leeds United midfielder Sean Longstaff will be out for around 4 to 6 weeks with a calf injury he picked up in the 2-1 defeat against Aston Villa. Daniel Farke's side, who sit 18th in the Premier League, travel to Manchester City on Saturday. For more football news from the BBC, go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
All right, thank you so much, Connor, for that. So let's talk about CAF, and we're counting down to the African Cup of Nations. Okay, we're not missing out on that one. We'll be in action in that one. But let's take a look at what CAF has been sending. They've been saying in terms of match appointees, the referees, assistant referees, the officials for VAR. If you have not heard, it's so sad that, yes, we'll be at this year's AFCON, but no Nigerian referee will be there. And that's really sad. I know we've talked about this for many years. When it comes to the CAF Interclub competition, you hardly see Nigerian referee taking charge of finals or even the latter stage of some of these competitions. But here you have Algerians, Beninese, Burundians, Cameroonians, Chadians, Cape Verde, Egyptians, Mauritius, Mauritania, Uganda, and you take a look at the guys in charge of the VAR, you've got no single Nigerian in that one. And you say, how many leagues on the continent have got VAR working? But hey, we've got some ones that have been trained the last couple of months by CAF, and they will be there. We saw the last edition of CAF, the African Cup of Nations. So assistant referees just taking a look at the names and the nationality of these referees. Again, I can't find any Nigerian here, and that speaks low volume of our match officials. Let's switch and talk about CAF. Still talking about CAF rather, but let's switch to players, those that would like to call the Gladiators. What they will be doing, CAF is trying to see how far they can expand. The Confederation of African Football has approved an expanded squad size of 28 players for the teams participating in the 2025 African Cup of Nations. CAF said adjustments will help national sides manage players' fitness, injuries, workload, and other health-related concerns throughout the month-long tournament. In addition to the enlarged squad, teams will be permitted to register up to 17 technical staff members covering coaches, medicals, logistics, and performance analysis units to ensure comprehensive support during the competition. The 24 qualifying countries are expected to submit their final 28 squads by December 11th. Morocco will host starting from December 18 to January 18, 2026. So it's a month-long event. So let's take a look at how results went down last night in terms of European club football as we look forward to weekend games starting today. I'm talking about weekend games on the continent of Africa. We've got the second group games of this year's CAF Champions League and, of course, CAF Confed Cup. Rivers will be playing that game later today, and I will tell you about that in a bit. But last night, a selected result of games in the Europa Cup saw Roma won against Midtjylland by 2-1. Villa at Villa Park defeated Young Boys from Switzerland by 2-1. Porto 3-0 against Nice of France. Fenerbahce 1-1 against Ferencváros of Hungary. Celtic, good result for them in Rotterdam. They went away from home, defeated Robert Van Persie, Feyenoord by 3-1. Lille 4-0 against Dynamo Zagreb of Czechia, while Celta Vigo lost to Bulgarian side Ludogorets Razgrad by 3-2. C Bologna won their game also against Salzburg of Austria by 4-1. And the games were played 9 last night. Rangers 1-1 against Sporting Braga in Seville. Real Betis, they defeated Utrecht of Netherlands by 2-1. So Crystal Palace lost the game you had from the BBC against Strasbourg in France by 2-1. And Shakhtar Donetsk of Ukraine, not playing that game in Ukraine, but this one was played in Highland. They won against Shamrock Rovers by 2-1. Aberdeen 1-1 against Noah. And always again, I can see here, see Rapid Vienna, they lost to Rakov by 4-1. So let's switch attention to today, because we'll be having the CAF Interclub competition later today. The CAF Champions League is back, and this will be the last game for this year. And then we'll have match day 3, 4, 5, 6 coming up in the year 2026. So CAF said those 2 games will be catching up this year, and then the other games will come, because we've got the African Cup of Nations coming up at a point in time. So before that, let me also remind you that there will be the final and the 3rd place of the European Women Nations League. Germany will be playing against Spain tonight from 8:30, and then there will be France against Sweden. So let's go back and talk about some African football this morning on the show, as we look forward to all those games happening. 5 p.m. tonight, Rivers will be playing against RS Berkane of Morocco. Rivers lost the opening game to Pyramids by 3-0 a few days ago. They will be looking for redemption tonight. In the other games in Group B, JS Kabylie of Algeria will play against Young Africans of Tanzania. FAR Rabat to play against Al Ahly of Egypt. That should be one of the biggest games on the continent this weekend. The side from Morocco playing at home against the biggest club side in Africa, Al Ahly. MC Algiers will play against Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa. And in the CAF Confed Cup, Olympic Club de Safé will play against USM Algiers. Still staying with the CAF Confed Cup, a few more games. Azam will play against Wydad Casablanca, and Zesco of Zambia will be up against Al Masry of Egypt. So there you have it in terms of what to expect later today on the continent of Africa. Let's talk about some European club football starting tonight. The weekend is upon us. Getafe will play against Elche. That will be in for 9 p.m. talking about La Liga games. And in Bundesliga, Borussia Mönchengladbach will be up against 2nd place RB Leipzig. And in Italy, 1 game tonight, Cesc Fabregas Como will be playing against Sassuolo. And of course, 1 game in France, Mainz against Reims. So there you have it in terms of what the lineup is tonight, starting this weekend in the world of club football. And don't forget, we're done with international football this year, but the AFCON I know is there, but in terms of World Cup qualifier, this qualifier, other qualifiers, all of that is over. So we'll see how the teams will fare for the remainder of the year. The Premier League will be back this weekend, and of course the other leagues also will be back. When we come in the afternoon, we've got more to share with you. I am Peter Omo, and once it's 8 a.m., we've got Baba Vendor coming up for 1 hour 30 minutes. We've got you covered in terms of what the dailies are saying.
Mornings are for dreamers. The break of dawn for champions. On 32 FM 94.9.
32 FM.
Ìkànnì Adẹ́rìn-Pòṣónú.
32 FM. The Pioneer Joy Station.
32 FM.
The station admired by other radio stations. 32 FM. Fẹ́yẹ̀.
One tagline is never enough. 32 FM 94.9. Filling the world with laughter.
Are you ready? Check 1 2, check 1 2.